Hello world. Tara Seymour from Stockbroker to Firewalker, that's me, coming back for my last big broadcast of the day, day 3 of Find It, Feel It, Free It. So, my original plan was to tell you a little more about me and my practices, but then my first broadcast had no sound, so you're learning a little bit more about me on the fly. I'm going to combine this last one and redo what I did with the first one, but also tell you a little more about me. So, who am I? Well, I'm Tara Seymour. I'm a long term resident of Alberta, multi generation resident of Alberta. My family has roots in both the Cochrane area and the Banff Valley. So, right in the edge of the mountains and right on the edge of the mountains. Just as we enter them, just on the edge. I'm a mother of 3. I have almost 20 years, 19 and some years background as a licensed representative within the financial world of Canada. And I also have close to 20 years now of deeply exploring energy and consciousness work. Started with just being a explorer and a learner, then Reiki, and then shamanic work, and then into all sorts of consciousness work, energy work, etc. That's who I am. So when I call myself Stockbroker to Firewalker, I really have both those experiences under my belt, and they are very much a part of me. So that's me. Broadcasting today from my crystal cavern, and what I have going here is a sound infusion table. So I am actually working with several different sets of frequencies, one relating to Om, the deep earth Om, and again, I can talk about that in more detail, not now. One relating to certain movements in the heavens believed to be helping us to feel what I call the divine feminine. So that's deep, patience, compassionate, caring, balance, integration, all of the things that, regardless of what body parts your body is wearing at the current moment, might be missing from a lot of our lives. I personally think we could all use more of that on this planet. And I also am working with, if anyone has heard of the Fibonacci sequence or the Fibonacci spiral, little off in sacred geometry there, but look these up. I'm working with the first 9 frequencies of them. And what I'm actually working on is creating these spirals and then infusing the crystals with these spirals, these life-giving ways of moving. So I'm recording and coming into you from my crystal cavern. It is my dream facilitation space. It has not got used like planned because I'm a bit of a rule follower, so I have followed the restrictions. And for the most part, the things I want to do in here don't involve me policing or forcing others to fall in line the same way I am. And they also don't involve me ending up in a real conflict within my own morals. So for all the right reasons, this hasn't been used, but it's here now. And I'm using it for the next couple of weeks to launch Find It, Feel It, Free It. So the next thing I want to just go public with and put on record, I want to go public about my own beliefs on the Freedom Convoy and the current situation going on in this world, because I'm talking to you from Canada. And I'm of the belief that at the current moment, whether this is coming from a tiny group of people or over half the people in the country you're in, what I am observing is that at the current moment, there is a movement for freedom going on in Canada that is more powerful than anything I have ever experienced. It is creating incredible amounts of polarity, and I have no intention into getting into the details of it. I want to focus on the feeling of it, and the feeling of it is huge, and I'm watching it spread around the world. But what I'm watching it also do is create a lot of polarity, a lot of questions on which side, a lot of questions on the value and authenticity of the side. And when I get wrapped up in that, I lose what I call coherence, and I feel anything but free. So I'm not against the current movement, but for me to join it on either side is just going to hurt me. However, if you are currently feeling a strong need to take sides, whatever that is, or action, nothing I'm doing with Find It, Feel It, Free It should be interfering with that. I'm not standing here to try to change your mind or change your behavior. So my invite to anyone who is currently fueled in whatever manner you are fueled by the current movements of the Freedom Rally and is behaving in whatever manner you're behaving is to please contemplate, find it, feel it, free it, to feel the invitation to add this to what you're doing, because I would really like your feelings of freedom to be into the mix, the petri dish we're building. I also strongly, strongly hope that this movement takes root and that some of my amazing friends who are wired a little like me, we're righteous, we're rule followers, we like to do the right thing. We get that we have to work together to make this work. And some of us have really been struggling with some pretty hurting emotions and accepting the way some of our Canadian peers are behaving. I'm betting this is going on around the world. So again, if you're listening to this and you're one of those people, what I'm suggesting here with find it, feel it, free it is as close to guaranteed as I can be, not going to hurt you, and it may actually help you. It's not going to change your mind or your thoughts, but it may change how much stress and pressure and rigidity that creates in your body. So again, there's no need from my perspective to change. I'm also just going to go public with how I feel about vaccination, because I'm currently speaking from one of the countries in the world that has one of the highest levels of vaccination. So at the current moment, I can see that the virus that is spreading around the world, irrelevant of where it did or did not come from, so I'm not trying to change what you currently believe about it, it's here. And for many, many people, it's highly likely to be very difficult to deal with. And for every single person on this planet, it could be very difficult to deal with. It's certainly also very hard on our systems. So I'm in a country that has had access to vaccination from the beginning, and I'm incredibly appreciative that we have had that much access. I think it's amazing. I also stand against the forced vaccination, and I stand against the forced vaccination that's not being called that. So if you're being put in the position of not being able to feed your family or pay your mortgage or get vaccinated, that's forced. And anyone playing tricky mind games or tricky word games with it, I'm not in alignment with. So that's where I stand. Appreciation for what I have, assuming vaccines really are the answer. And again, that's a separate discussion that I'm not here to have. I don't know the answer. But if it is, here in Canada, I'd like to see more focus on them getting spread around the world. And if they're not the answer, and our leaders are realizing that, then I'd like to see more focus on moving forward from it. Again, I don't know. So that's where I stand. So find it, feel it, free it, because that's what I'm trying to do, is start that today. And I'm already at my 7-minute mark, so I've got a few minutes more. The last thing I want to do is I want to put a call out to who you might be, who you are, who I'm trying to reach, who I'm shouting out to and saying, will you come and just try this? You don't have to do it every day. You don't have to do it constantly. You don't have to do it all at once, although I am absolutely certain that coherence practices work when we do them on a regular basis. So this is a movement that you can join from any place. This is a movement you can join publicly. This is a movement you can join privately. This is a movement you can tell everyone about. This is a movement you can tell no one about. This is a movement you can fully participate in regardless of your physical health. This is a movement you can participate in regardless of your mental health. This is a movement you can participate in regardless of your age. And I have it all written out here and it all went sideways. This is a movement you can do in groups or gatherings. This is a movement you can do solo. This is a movement you can join from isolation. This is a movement you can take to the streets. This is a movement you can join from your home. This is a movement you can come in with live. This is a movement that you can do with no one seeing it. You don't even need an internet connection. It's a movement that you can participate in, at least from my perspective, no matter what your religion, no matter what your culture is, no matter what your life preferences are, no matter what your current living situation is. This is a movement you can participate in regardless of your familial bloodlines. It's a movement you can join regardless of your ancestral lineage. It's a movement you can join regardless of if you think the same as anyone else who's joined it. It's a movement you can join for you. It's a movement you can join, a movement that can actually cross every social and every economic, every divide that I know of out there. This movement has the power to cross. If you don't want to even put your own feeling of freedom into the mix, you don't have to. You can simply feel it inside you. So again, Tara Sue Moore here, and this is the final invite I'm putting out for today for all of you to please consider, contemplate. The invite is open to join this movement. Find it, feel it, free it. Find out what your own version of freedom is and feel how your body feels when you're experiencing your version of freedom. And I don't care what that is. As you're feeling it, ensure that you have coherent communication in the body, which means your mind is thinking, your body's feeling, and your heart is sensing. And intuitively, it's congruent, it's coherent, it's connected. And then from that place, radiate your feeling of freedom out with an invitation for it to interact with, harmonize with, and for anyone else who wants to join, an invite to them to feel into the coherency of your feeling of freedom. I'm certain that if enough of us started doing this, we can actually turn this world into a petri dish of what freedom feels like. And I am certain that whatever decisions and whatever world is going to arise out of what we're living in now, I am going to like it better if it is created from a coherent feeling of freedom, as opposed to a forced argumentative version of what different people think freedom is. So again, hope to see more of you soon. For today, I am Tara Sue Moore, from stockbroker to firewalker, and I am launching Find It, Feel It, Free It. I'll see you tomorrow.